All right, Austin Haverkamp, welcome to the show, my man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, how you feeling right now? You're about how far out are we now from your next fight? About a month?
So I just posted yesterday. I had to pull. We are hopefully rescheduling the fight for late August, but I just sustained a injury during camp a couple weeks ago, and I've been taking some time off to see if it would get better in time to have 2 weeks to train. But we're about 2 weeks out now, and I still can't I can't train really. So. Um, it's tough. So I'm trying to take another week or two off and then get a 4 or 5 week camp in for the end of August. But we'll see what's happening.
Yeah. Always good to go into a fight as well prepared, as healthy as you can be. Of course, it's like a thing guys talk about in all sports, but especially MMA. You're never really gonna go into a fight with like completely injury free for the
No,
most part.
no,
Yeah. So yeah,
definitely not.
I was just gonna go ahead and
I,
talk about that. Yeah.
it was tough, dude. I definitely still want to take the fight, but it was just a conversation where my coaches were kind of like, if it were any sort of professional like title or anything like that, there would be no question about it. You'd be fighting. Fuck it, we'll get surgery after, and that got me all excited. And then there was but we're not in that position. It's an amateur fight. Like we can just reschedule the fight a few weeks later, especially because I just lost my last fight. I don't want to go even if I win this fight, let's say I win this fight, now I'm fine, but I get injured and I got to take 6 to 8 months off because I do end up having to get surgery uh, instead of just taking a couple extra. Pull the plug on that one. So hopefully I'm just good to go in a few weeks and that's that.
Yeah, man. Awesome that you have those people in your corner telling you something like that because yeah, I mean it's rough. I'm sure in the amateur scene, having to get everything together and you just want to kind of go. But
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, man, definitely good to take that time off and collect yourself and get everything going. So I wanted to kind of start out here, like just briefly tell me. So how old are you and how'd you get started in MMA?
Uh, I am 20. I started competing like in MMA about 5 years ago. I started kickboxing and doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling and everything. But I did karate from the time I was like five until for a number of years. I stopped for a little bit before I started MMA, but I've been involved in martial arts for a very long time.
Okay. So, and at what point did you kind of make that switch between like you were just doing it for fun to where you really wanted to compete for real?
When I started training MMA 5 years ago, when I was 15 going on 16, I started taking it really seriously. And that was it for me.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. And, once you kind of started taking it more seriously, was it always kind of like, I guess I'm saying, like, in what terms were you thinking, like, I want to make this a pro thing? Like, I want to make a living out of this? What was that like?
Yeah, dude, my dumbass, arrogant 15-year-old self had been training for 4 months and was like, I'm gonna be world champion in 5 years. 5 years later, I'm definitely not world champion, but I'm still, in the same mindset. Like nothing has changed from the day I started. It's always been one goal, being the best, and if that means being the best in the world, which I'm quite certain it is, then that's what it's gonna be, or it'll just be however good I can get, which I think is really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an awesome mindset to have. Just kind of saying, hey, I'm gonna do the best I can and kind of just, control the controllables. But at
Mhm.
15, I think everybody kind of has that assumption of you're so excited, you're so young, you think it's gonna be maybe a little easier, and then you get into some of these fights, these sparring matches with like guys that are just really ready to
Mhm.
take your head off, and you're like, oh dang, like this is gonna take some time. Um, you know,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
so what was the moment for you kind of that made you be like, step back for a second, be like, okay, this is gonna take some time.
I went to so I started at kind of like a shit gym. I was training at not a shit gym, but definitely not a good gym. I was training at a UFC gym out in Colorado, and then about 6 months in, I switched over to pound for pound where I'm at now, where I've been for a long time, just with world-class coaches. So I went from a room of like strictly amateur fighters and one really terrible pro to a room of nothing but very high level skilled fighters, whether it's like from the UFC down, like the best guys in the room were in the UFC, like as soon as I got there, all the way down to just amateur guys that were also kicking my ass. So once I stepped into that room and saw what it was like to be around real fighters, I realized a lot of stuff had to like change about where I was and what I was doing.
Awesome, man. And what? So you're in pound for pound Muay Thai. And who are the top names out of that?
Competing or coaching?
I guess either one, really, since you're learning from both.
Coaching, obviously the coaches right now we have well my main coach Corey Galloway. He's like my main training partner, coach, everything. He's been like doing a lot for me since I was 16, 17. But I also on the same sense I got to talk about Justin Huten, who's he was the number five glory lightweight in his time. He's fought a bunch of legends, big time kickboxer and MMA fighter. Um, so having those guys to help me out since I was 16. And then right now we have Coach Saeed Saparov over there, who used to be the Kill Cliff wrestling coach.
Mm.
Um, and then Lucas Valente, who is the UFC BJJ 155 champ. Right now, he's the number one in the world for IBJJF. He's a multiple time jiu-jitsu world champion. His wife is like an 8-time jiu-jitsu world champion. A couple of savages. I also go to Bird BJJ, train under Sebastian Berti and Jared McCluskey, two really high level guys. Um, so those guys right now, the competitors, out of pound for pound Muay Thai, at my weight class, we have Justin Wetzel and Ellie Wise, who are two professionals. Justin Wetzel fights in the PFL. Ellie Wise is making his way to some big names right now. Brandon Royal and his crew always come and spar with us. I train with him every Monday. I wrestle with him, spar with him week. I was training with him a good bit for this Loner Kavanaugh fight
Mm.
that he's got this weekend. So I'm really excited to watch that on Saturday. I was getting some good work with him. But who else, dude? There's so many people that just like kind of blank on names. Neil Magny, obviously. I don't know if you've seen this guy, Dayar. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's either Kyrgyzstan or Kazakhstan. But he's in the UFC. So we got a bunch of high level guys coming in and out of the gym all the time.
Okay, awesome. And what do you think you could take from maybe any of the coaches or any athlete maybe that you saw in specific there about their work ethic, how they approach training, and then life outside the gym?
I try to take a little bit from all of them. I'm trying to really make fighting like my thing. I always like the idea that I'm the captain of the ship and I'm kind of directing everything. So I try to steal all the little parts that I find them doing, whether it's extra work after gym, part of a warm up, part of a cool down, maybe something they say like in between rounds that's just like a little mindset shift. Whether it's like, hey, chill out in this position, or hey, stop being a bitch in this position, like whatever it is. I try to steal whatever pieces I can from them and just add to my game. Try to find my little center balance for me.
Yeah. Man, how tremendously beneficial that is to be able to be with a group of guys like that are supportive and just like so elite and ready to work with you. Another thing I want to say that I think is extremely beneficial that I think you'd agree to too is you're fighting out of Denver now. Is that where pound for pound is? Okay, and that elevation I know is a huge, it has to be a huge benefit for you. You grew up in this area?
Yeah, I've been in Colorado since I was 5.
Okay, awesome. So whenever you go fight somewhere like a lower altitude, I'm not sure if you have, do you notice the
Yeah,
difference?
I definitely noticed a big difference. The recovery is a big. You still get tired, like you're always going to get tired, but it takes a little bit longer to get super tired, and I can always recover way faster.
Wow, no, like that's so awesome. I know, like, of course, I'm sure you're familiar with if you're a Colorado guy. You got the Olympic training centers up there, and it's not by mistake. Like they do that for a
Hmm.
reason.
Hmm.
So that's got to be such a cool benefit to have. Hey man, so I want to jump into really, your biggest fight to date. You were coming into that, Wing C fight. You were coming into it with what was it? Were you on a four fight win streak, three fight win
Was
streak?
I was 3-0 at the time before the fight.
Okay, and those were all finishes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you were a hot name coming off that fight. And now was that your only fight in APFC?
When you see fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, the guy I fought last, the guy that just stopped me back in March, that was for the APFC bantamweight title. And then the fight before Wing C was also for APFC. I fought Aaron Thomas at the APFC in Richmond.
Right. So that's what I was talking about before the fight. So you did fight in APFC before.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, okay. So how was that situation getting kind of like negotiating with them? I'm not sure how the amateurs works with like getting fights.
Mhm.
So tell me about that.
So I know a guy, I'm a really good, one of my best friends, Campbell Dunn. He was training out in Colorado. He trains out in Virginia. He's got good connections with all the people that were working with APFC out in Richmond. So I was talking to those guys, and they kind of got me a fight right away on that Richmond card. I went out and fought one of their tough bantamweights. We had a really good fight. He dropped me in the first round. It was really tough. And then I finished him in the second round, and they really liked me, and I was, in good talks with the promoters. And so I was supposed to fight this kid, Micah Doyce, in December. We had kind of agreed to that on the next APFC Richmond card, but then that card got canceled, and they needed somebody to fill in for Wing C a few weeks earlier in New Mexico. So he just sent me the offer because my fight had fallen off, and no one else was taking the Wing C fight. And so that was kind of it. I was just in direct talks with the promoter. I was supposed to have another fight. He sent me that one because it fell off. That's that.
Yeah. Why was people turning it down? Do you know?
He was 6-1, and he was like beating some. I don't want to call them good people. They had like decent records, So like, I feel like a lot of people go on Tapology and they're like, "Oh, he beat this guy that's 7-2, or the Canadian guy that was like 6-0 or 6-1 at the time." It's like, dude, just watch 30 seconds of the fight. You're telling me you don't think that guy is dog shit, and you like, bro, come on. I think people were just freaking out about the fact that Wing C was 6-1 and he's beat some people with big records. Uh, I just watched a little bit of film. I had seen DJ knock him out, and I know who the people I work with and the people around me is like nothing comparable. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I know he trained with DJ obviously, which is a big deal. But ultimately, man, that's what I thought too. I was like, I can't imagine somebody would pass up this offer because it just seems to me like, he has a big hype train behind him, or at least the social media hype. So it's like, why would he take
Mm-hmm.
that fight? So yeah, so you take that fight. You said you were in direct talks with the promoter for that. They scheduled for that fight. What was your thought process kind of going into it? Were you just like, yeah, I'm gonna go finish this guy and it's gonna be up, or like what was that, kind of going into the fight?
Yeah, I had to try. The only thing that was kind of anxiety based for that fight was like the amount of people telling me I had to whoop his ass.
Right.
But other than that, like it was 6 weeks of me trying to be nervous that it could go more to the round. Like I'm not like I really like it. When I watched it, I was like, if he makes it out of it takes a miracle for him to make it out of the first round. Is what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I will be so surprised if he can survive 2 minutes, which he didn't. So that's how that goes. But yeah, there was nothing that I thought could happen in that one.
Wow, that's hilarious. So I was gonna ask you, it sounds like you've already answered the question though. I was gonna ask you this though, was like after the fight, like now that you fought him and everything, it's over. What do you think about him as an actual fighter? Like, you think he's more of just like a social media entertainer?
Yeah, I think he is like a decent fighter. I think he has good energy. I think he's like a spaz, and that's really good. But I don't know if he has the capacity to really like take a step back and learn the finer details of how to be like a skilled fighter. He's a really good athlete. Like he could move really well. That did surprise me. He moved way like more naturally and smoother than I would think he would.
Hmm.
But uh I don't he has a low ceiling in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mhm.
now I did want to
I'm
ask,
sorry.
because I didn't, I thought I saw this, but was Mighty Mouse at that fight?
Yeah, he did like a 40-minute YouTube documentary on it. It was pretty sick. But he was sitting cage side the whole time.
That's what I thought because I saw him with him after the fight. I saw him react to the fight, and I was like, I don't know if it
Hmm.
was just like a clip taken out of context, but I was like, yeah, I thought,
Hmm.
I thought he was at that fight. So how awesome was that? Did you get to talk to him at all after the fight?
Yeah, I talked to him at weigh-ins on Saturday. He was there all weekend, so we did some like gimmick stuff with him and Wing C on Saturday, and then I talked to him before and after the fight on Sunday.
Awesome. And was that just like a little brief discussion, or what was that you guys talked about?
Yeah, yeah, it was mostly me just him saying congratulations and me nerding out and being like, dude, you're the coolest, like flyweight ever. Like this is incredible. And that was pretty much it. It was short-lived.
Okay, I got you, man. It's still
Mm.
awesome. The media,
So cool.
yeah, that came with it. Obviously, everything that happened, and then you got fight of the year, right? Or finish of the year, APFC.
Yeah, something like I think it might have been the fight of the year.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
that's
Which
awesome.
is crazy because it was a minute and a half. It wasn't even a banger. But yeah.
Right, yeah. Hey, anytime you finish a name like that, I mean, he had to be the most popular guy, or one of the most popular guys in the promotion, of course. You
Yeah,
know,
probably.
yeah. So, so after that fight now, of course, you've only had one fight since then. But, after that fight, what was did you get any people reaching out about like, promotions or deals or whatever that, that you noticed jump a little bit from that fight or?
A little bit, yeah, definitely there were a number of people like reaching out with more opportunities or offers or random little um I don't know, but nothing that felt like really beneficial or anything. He definitely got the better end of the media after that fight. Somehow that motherfucker ended up on Ariel Helwani.
Yeah, right.
That was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, and last thing, well, last two things I'll ask you. First thing is I
Mhm.
saw, I don't know if you watch Sean O'Malley's podcast at all,
Well,
or okay, what's his name? Jonathan Davison, I think his name is. Young fighter out of he's from England, but he fights out of their gym. He's been calling everybody out. He's at your weight class. Just moved up. So he's been calling everybody out. He's trying to get on brand risk. I don't know. I guess if you don't know him, then it's kind of hard to ask a question. But I thought that could be a good matchup because you guys are the same
what's
size.
his name?
Jonathan Davison, I believe his name is Jono. That's what they call
You
him.
know.
Yeah, he was just on their podcast and he fights out of that out of their gym in AZ.
Ah, I see. 6'1" MMA fighter. Oh, I see. I see. Is he
Yeah.
professional or amateur?
Oh, he might actually. I know. I think he's still amateur. I think he's still amateur, but I don't know. He might be. He might turn pro. I thought they said he was amateur though.
Oh yeah, amateur from England.
Yeah, and they were trying to call for that Wing C fight I just saw the other day in his comments, and I was like, oh, this is perfect because I'm going on with Austin here soon. I'll ask him about that. So yeah,
Make
man,
that happen. I like it.
I'm saying, dude,
Have this fight with Abriel Seski and then let's do it.
yeah, man, I thought that would be awesome. I mean, especially if you could get it even him to APFC because I know he's not signed with anybody really right now. He's just bouncing
Mhm.
around, or even you go to Brand. I don't know, man. I think there could be some potential with that.
Maybe, yeah, but well, I mean, he would. I think honestly, if he and I were gonna fight, it would make way more sense for him and I to fight in New Mexico. If he's in Arizona and I'm in Colorado, that's driving distance for both of us to Albuquerque. And they have pro rules in New Mexico, and APFC is going to be in Albuquerque at the end of the year. So maybe we'll fight each other under pro rules in Albuquerque for APFC. You might have just made a sick matchup, dude. Thank you.
Oh hell yeah,
Oh,
man.
nice. All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll have to clip this up and post this one because
Do it,
I
do
think that
it,
could
do
be an
it.
awesome
Tag
one.
him, post it. I have a fight before that. I have a fight I have to take before that. There's like a Colorado title out here. When I lost my last fight, for whatever reason, they took me off of the Colorado rankings. Uh, which I have a teammate who's a professional now, and he's still in the amateur rankings. He hasn't fought in 2 years, and they took me off. But the kid I'm supposed to fight took my number one spot, so I got to get that back, and then that guy from England can get it for sure.
Hell yeah, bro. I think that would be an awesome matchup. Like I said, maybe yeah, or like you said, maybe we just made a sick matchup. So
Sweet.
yeah, man, take care of business in this next fight, and maybe we can see that
Gotcha.
happen. Last thing I'll ask you before we go here, you mentioned this card coming up because Brandon's fighting on it. Give me some predictions. What we got going on? I don't know if you know the main card or any guys you got in general that you want to talk about.
Holloway. Holloway better put a beating on Connor for the last 5 years. Uh, oh, that whole card is so good. Boner and Royval's such a tough fight for both of them. I think Royval's pace is just going to be too much for um, Kavanaugh, though. I think his range is going to be too long. I think the fact that Charles Johnson was able to touch Lohner the way he was and kind of put that pressure on him, uh, Brandon does that just at a much higher pace. And I don't know if it's a longer range. They're about the same height. Uh, Charles Johnson came and trained with us for a little bit. They were about the same size. It looked like, I would say. So that won't be too different. But I think the pace will be super different for Lohner for
Yeah.
sure. So we'll see how that goes. Who else is on that card? I'm
Well, I
blanking
know
right now.
undercard is even bigger. We got Cody Garbrandt fighting Yanez. I think Yanez got that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Um,
Nunez takes that too.
and then there was like really two more I want to talk about just because you already said Holloway. I guess the Patty fight and the Gable Stevenson fight. I don't know if you stayed up with
Yes,
either of
yes.
those at
I was
all.
on Gable's card. When I fought Wing C, Gable fought on APFC on that, or yeah, on APFC on that card. That
Yeah.
was when he knocked the dude out and took him down at the same time. It was sweet.
Oh yeah.
I think Gable will probably beat any heavyweight starting in the UFC. Uh, Dang, the Patty BSD fight is really good. I think Patty might take his back and choke him, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. BSD is a freaking killer.
And it's
And
only 3 rounds.
right.
Oh, that's gonna be sweet.
And you look at every single one of BSD's fights, and he just puts the freaking hammer on those guys in the first round. Like
Hmm.
he doesn't always
Hmm.
win, but like he
And
is going
Patty's
to.
hittable.
Yeah, right.
Patty's hittable.
Right.
We'll
And then
see. We'll see.
the Terrence McKinney fight with Bobby
Oh,
Green.
King Green.
Yeah.
King Green will probably sleep him. Terrence McKinney
Okay.
seems a little chinny. We'll see. We'll
Awesome.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely banger card. We're 3 days out. Can't wait to watch
We'll
that one
sweet.
too.
Me
Yeah.
either.
Hey, Austin, thank you so much for coming on, my man. Anything you want to shout out before we go? Let us hear it.
Um, Not at the moment. Just stay tuned. Get ready for the next fight. Hopefully, we can make that matchup at the end of the year and keep getting some big clips out for y'all.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, my man.